Are you thinking about building in Colorado? Whether it's a peaceful mountain retreat, a sprawling ranch, or a custom modern build just outside the city, there's a lot more to it than just finding a beautiful piece of land. Hi, I'm Nick Ankrom. I'm a licensed realtor here in Colorado, and today I'm going to be breaking down the entire process of what you should know on what it takes to build in Colorado. From buying land to understanding the contract process and what things nobody is telling you about utilities, permits, and costs. So if you're ready to stop scrolling listings online and start building your dream home, this video is just for you. All right, so before we get into the intricacies of what it takes to buy a piece of land here in Colorado and then build on top of it, is to first understand why people do it in the first place. Because quite honestly, it's a little bit of a headache. There's a lot more than just your normal house purchase, and we've got to do a lot of homework up front. So one of the reasons people decide to build in Colorado is because Colorado is becoming more and more popular for out-of-state people to move to Colorado. Now, that may be a good thing, that may be a bad thing for some people, but in reality, that's just the way things are. And the reason why they do it is because Colorado is very well known for its outdoor activities. We have the beautiful Colorado Rocky Mountains and a lot of recreational activities to do year round. So that's why people are wanting to move here. Another reason why people are looking to build versus just buy a pre-existing home is because they want more space or, better views and building a home that meets their exact needs. Another reason is due to a lack of inventory on houses that are currently available on the market. They may be looking for something in particular with a certain view from at a certain distance from, their job or, with certain amenities that they're looking for. So that's another popular reason. And the last reason I hear from a lot of people is that they want something more sustainable. They want to be able to sustain themselves, live off the land, and not be tied so much to a government entity or a utility company that is going to charge them out the wazoo. Buying land in Colorado is a lot different than buying a house here. And for that, we're going to go over some must-check items before you even think about writing an offer. Here are some critical considerations. Zoning and use restrictions. You're going to want to check to make sure that the county zoning, whether it's residential, agricultural, or recreational. And then you're also going to want to look up future land use plans. Some areas may have upcoming commercial or highway development that would highly affect the value of your land. Another consideration is water rights. Water is gold in Colorado. Does the land have a well permit or deeded water rights? That's stuff you're going to have to know. You may also need to drill a well through the Colorado Division of Wildlife Resources. That's going to entail getting a permit, the whole process, and incurring the costs on getting the well established in the first place. You're also going to want to know about soil conditions. It's required for structural engineering. Expansive soil equals higher foundation costs. So you're going to want to hire a geotechnical engineer to perform the soil analysis, and that's typically going to happen in the contract process. You're also going to want to know about utilities. Are electric and gas available at the lot line? If not, you'll need estimates from providers to bring them in, and it can cost $5,000 to $20,000 plus. Also, if there's no sewer, you'll need a septic permit and a perk test. Road access is a big deal as well. You're going to want to confirm that there's legal access, public or deeded private. and the maintenance matters. If it's a private road, who plows it, and are there shared costs? You also want to identify HOAs or any covenants that are on the land itself. Some mountain subdivisions or ranch communities have HOAs with building design rules, and others may restrict short-term rentals, livestock, or fencing. Now, once everything checks out on your piece of land and you want to make an offer, here's what the Colorado contract process looks like. So first, the contract. You'll be using the contract to buy and sell real estate, the land version of that contract. You'll be filling out required earnest money deposit, which is typically around $2,000 and up to 5% of the purchase price. You'll negotiate due diligence deadlines, survey requirements, who's paying for what, and water and well inspections. All right, so your due diligence period. Common deadlines are the title objection deadline. That is the requirement for the seller to produce the title through the title aid or company that you will be using and let them know that, hey, this property can be sold. Off-market matters, including HOAs and any easements. You'll get those documents ahead of time and have to agree to them. You also, if you want to do a soil test to make sure that you have a good understanding of what your foundation costs would be and if the soil is something that you can build upon. You also address the water situation or well situation. If there's a current well, you can have it tested, make sure the flow rate's good and that it's sustainable for what you want to use it for. And we're also going to do a septic test as well if there's a septic tank, or a perk test to see if the property can sustain a septic tank. Another thing is the survey or improvement location certificate. Depending on what's available and what is easier, a survey or a ILC or improvement location certificate is going to be needed to consummate the sale. Next thing is title commitment. Ensures that you'll get clean ownership of the land with no liens, encroachments, or shared usage rights unless otherwise negotiated. We're also going to address mineral rights. Many landowners in Colorado don't actually own the mineral rights. That means someone else could technically lease or drill under your land. Title research is crucial. And then for closing, if you're financing, a land loan typically requires a higher down payment and is at a higher interest rate. For a cash closing, it happens between 2 or 3 weeks. Finance land deals take 30 to 45 days. You're always going to want to consult with a real estate attorney or experienced agent for land purchases. It is easy to overlook something massive. All right, now these estimated costs are exactly that. They're estimated. There's no telling what it can actually cost, and we're going to want to do our research with a builder to see what we should expect. For raw land, you can expect anywhere between $20,000 to up to $500,000 or above, and that really depends on the location, view, acreage, and stuff like that. For the well, if there's not already one established, you can expect a cost between $25,000 and $45,000. Good rule of thumb here is to dig a well, it's about $10,000 per 100 feet drilled. For a septic system, I expect around $15,000 to $25,000. For power hookup, anywhere between $5,000 and $20,000. And then for site prep, that's grading, tree clearing, creating the driveway. I expect $5,000 to $30,000, dependent on the materials used and the length of the driveway, as well as terrain that we may need to consider. For the foundation, anywhere between $20,000 to $80,000, and the construction of the home itself is anywhere between $200 to $500 a square foot, and that depends on the finishes and specific location, if there's anything interesting that they need to overcome. Something else to look out for is tap fees. Now, the city may charge for you to tap into that water source or that sewer, and that can be anywhere between $10,000 and up to $50,000 in some counties. You're going to need permits as well for every stage of the process, from the excavation to the electrical work that's done inside the property. So here's how to keep it smooth and easy going. So here are your key building steps. First, you're going to address the architectural design and the engineering of your home. Then you're going to submit a building permit application through your county or municipality. Then you're going to hire a general contractor or build it yourself if you're brave. And here are your timelines to expect. For permits, expect around 1 to 3 months. And for the build itself, expect 8 to 14 months, depending on weather, material availability, and labor. Now, to make sure this all goes smoothly, here's who you're going to want on your team. You're going to want a realtor, like myself, who's knowledgeable in these builds and the land purchase. You're going to want an architect or an engineer. You're going to want a builder. You want a septic and or a well contractor, depending on what is there on the land itself. Your lender is going to be a big resource as well for your land and construction loans. The title company is going to do all the title work for your property, and a real estate attorney. Now, this is optional, but highly recommended. So if you're feeling overwhelmed after all the information, don't worry, you're not alone. That's why I specialize in helping buyers navigate the land purchase and building their custom home. I'll connect you with trusted lenders, home builders, inspectors, and I will help you through the process, guide you through the contract, and make sure you're protected every step of the way. So you still thinking about building your dream home here in Colorado? Well, let's make sure you're doing it the right way, and that's by contacting me. My number is in the description below. It's also somewhere around my face. Together, we will identify that perfect piece of land. I'll line you up with some builders. We'll go through the contract process together. I'll be with you every step of the way. Also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as click that little bell so that you get notified on all of my videos about living in Colorado and all my real estate tips as well. We'll see you next time.